What? Just stop calling me, alright? Alright, don't call me anymore. We're done. Alright, so in life, we can choose our friends, we can choose our romantic partners, and we can even choose our mother-in-laws. But there's somebody we have to be with 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all the time. Who's that person? You guessed it, yourself. So today, I'm going to talk about how you can empower, enliven, and energize yourself by changing the dominant questions in your mind. So, on an average day, how many thoughts do you think we have? On an average day, we have 50 to 70,000 thoughts in one day. And we can't control any of those thoughts. So try to control your thoughts if you doubt me. I'll give you 10 seconds. Stop thinking for 10 seconds right now. Stop. You couldn't do it, did you? Thoughts kept popping up. Yes, but we can do something about this, right? So of these thoughts, a lot of them are questions. And some of these questions come up more than others. So we call these questions dominant questions. They can help us or they can tear us down. Am I smart enough? Am I tall enough? Why is my mother-in-law a psycho? So, anyway, let's go back to high school. So, back a long time ago, I was a high school student. My friends, they were all just so smart. So, every time my friends picked up a book to read in history class, my teacher's eyes widened, his coffee-stained teeth glimmered in the fluorescent light, and even his receding hairline started to grow some fuzz. The division of labor among nations is that some specialize in winning and others losing. But then it was my turn. When the book came around to me, the teacher had a sigh of anxious energy. My friends pointed their bony index fingers in my direction. And the girl in the corner with the golden suntan that I had a crush on, she started to roll her eyes in disgust. The division of labor among... why am I so slow? Why am I so stupid? Why am I such a loser? So these were the dominant questions in my mind. I was on a toxic path, a toxic cycle of self-doubt, pain, and incompetence. And then came SAT day, and I made it through high school some way by cheating and by copying and somehow without opening a book and reading it from front to cover. SAT day came. I went A, B, C, D, multiple choice. I know the answer. B, A, D, B, A, D. Bad, 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 and bad. Yes, but somehow, some way, based on my reading scores, I got into a university. And I remember that first day at university, it all changed. My dad, he pulled me to the side and said, "Son, you're going to university. This is serious now. You know, it's all about studying and performance in university. So, I just want to tell you, you're George. And while you're here in university, you show the world who George is. And how can you do that? You show the world who George is through action." So that day, my dominant questions changed. Who am I? I'm George. What is George like? He shows the world who he is through action. So I remember I chose my classes a couple days later, and I went to the counseling office. My counselor, Mrs. Smith, she took a look at my schedule. Introduction to psychology, introduction to philosophy, introduction to English literature. Oh, these are all reading intensive courses, George. Wow, I don't know. You're going to have a tough time. Look at your reading test scores. Mrs. Smith, with all due respect, I'm George. And don't worry, I'm going to show the world who I am through action. Yeah, but I think you should drop some of these classes. There's too much reading. You're not going to be successful. I hate to see you have problems your first semester. Don't worry, Mrs. Smith. I'm going to keep these classes. I'm going to show you what I can do through action. So I stomped out of her office, and she doubted me. And that created a fire inside of me. Every single day, I went to the library, and I stared at books until my eyes were bloodshot red, throbbing balls of flesh. And then I would walk home every day and think to myself, who are you? You're George. What is George like? George shows the world who he is through action. And then I would come home at night and lay in my dormitory bed before going to sleep. Who are you? You're George. And you show the world who you are through action. So this continued. All my friends, they would have fun, go out on dates, go to parties. I would be in the library, and I would fall asleep with a pool of saliva in my books until all those principles of psychology, philosophy, and all those literature books got stuck in my head. And then, at the end of the semester, the report card came in the mail. Let's see what happens. Let's open this paper. Aha! Introduction to Psychology, A. Introduction to Philosophy, A. Introduction to Literature, B+. And then a few days later, what happened? I get a phone call. It was Mrs. Smith on the other line. Hey George, I just wanted to congratulate you on your performance during the first semester. You did a great job. Wow, Mrs. Smith, I really appreciate the call. Thank you so much. But unfortunately, I'm going to transfer to another school next semester. Oh, you're not coming back, but we really need driven, motivated students like you at our school. Just stay, come on. Please stay. You're going to have a great time. This is the place for you. Mrs. Smith, quite frankly, I just can't do it. The other school, they're higher ranked, and they're giving me quite a bit of scholarship money, so I can't turn them down. So, anyway, I showed Mrs. Smith who I was through action. So through this experience, I realized that questions are the answer. And moreover, dominant questions are the answer. So you might be wondering, all these years later, do you still have toxic questions in your head? And the answer is, of course I do. I can't control my questions. I can't control my thoughts. They're still there. Even as I have a bookshelf full of books in 3 different languages now, and I shoot these videos, and I travel the world in places people have only dreamed of going on my bicycle, but I choose to ignore those toxic questions. Are people going to like this video? You're telling a personal story, you're putting yourself out there on YouTube. I ignore those toxic questions. So I choose to ignore them or accept them. So my question to you is, what are your dominant questions? Are they serving you, or are they tearing you down? Are they empowering you, enlivening you, and energizing you? I hope so. So you might be wondering, what does this all have to do with global citizenship? So every day I ask myself the same dominant questions with every decision I do in my life. Is this making you stronger or weaker, George? Should I have a beer after work? Is that going to make you stronger or weaker? The alarm's going off, it's 4:30 a.m. Oh, it's going to feel so good, isn't it? Just to stay in bed for 2 or 3 more hours, it's going to feel so good. Do I listen to that? Or do I listen to the voice that says, you're going to show the world who you are through action, aren't you, today? It's 4:30, get out there. You want to get out there and work out right now. So Stronger or weaker? Do I get up? Do I stay in bed? Second question I always ask myself, the dominant question is this choice going to make the world more peaceful? Is this choice going to make me a stronger global citizen? If I share this video on YouTube, will that make the world more peaceful? Help you to empower yourself? Or if I keep it within me, is that going to help anybody? The answer is no, right? So I better share it. So also, what about this phone, right? If I buy new things, I think to myself, every single choice, do I really need a new phone? What happens if I buy a new phone? This is a 2G phone, it's really outdated. A lot of people ask me questions about it, but I tell them the same thing. So to be a better global citizen, I try to use things until they break. So this phone, it still works, but if I buy a new phone, where do the materials come from? An iPhone, a Samsung Galaxy? A lot of the conflict minerals would come from the Congo, where a lot of people are dying, getting raped, and there's a civil war. Do I really want to contribute to that? Or can I just keep the same phone? I'm just one person, but I have to do my part, right? As a global citizen. What about for dinner? Do I eat another slaughterhouse victim tonight on my plate? Or do I have a plate of vegetables, nuts, beans, fruits, and vegetables? So, one will lead me to become a better global citizen, the other will make me a hypocrite. So, my questions for you are, what are your dominant questions? Are they serving you? Are they empowering you? Are they enlivening and energizing you? So, I want to hear your comments. What are your dominant questions? Please leave a comment below. If you like this video, subscribe and hit like so I can create more videos and these videos can reach more people.